Hey guys, it's Jen here. Let me put this down. I hope I am talking loud enough. I have a fan going right next to me, and you're probably like, okay, why is she in a sweater and have a fan going at the same time? It's because I have a really bad burn, and I didn't think it'd be the best publicity to just have it there on camera the whole time. But today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag, which I know it's only a couple days into June, but I know I'm going to forget about it if I don't do it now. And this is a really, really old tag, but I just came up on my feed. Pretty sure it was Emma Books that did it. And I really liked the idea of it, so I'm going to do it. Actually, I'm going to tip my books over so I can see them better. So this is like basically going over all the books that we read since the beginning of the year. So question number 1 is the best book you've read so far in 2017, and I'm gonna give that title to Renee Ahdier's Wrath in the Dawn. I adore this book. This is gonna be a series, a duology that I reread over and over again just because I loved it so much. I adored it. You can go if you would like to know more about that, you can go check out my book talk on it. I can link it below if I remember. But basically this centers on a girl named Shahrazad. I have said the synopsis for this so many times. But she volunteers to be the Caliph of Khorasan's bride after he takes her best friend as a bride, and then she dies the following dawn with a silk cord wrapped around her neck like the numerous brides before her. So Shahrazad volunteers to be his bride to either assassinate him or gain critical information that would lead to his assassination. But as she survives multiple dawns, they form this relationship, and then eventually they fall in love, and she discovers that he's not the monster that he's named to be. And it's so good. I love this book so much. It's my prized possession. Well, one of many. But yeah. Best sequel you've read so far in 2017. This is like technically a sequel, even though it's the 4th book in the series, but Breaking Dawn by Stephenie Meyer. It's a daunting book, but I just loved this book so much. My favorite book in the Twilight series was Eclipse, and then I read this. I can't go too much into depth about it because it is the last book in the series, but I love it so much, and this only took me 2 days to read because I was so absorbed in it. I could not put this book down. I read the whole Twilight series in a span of 6 days. That's how obsessed I was. I read Twilight and New Moon in the span of a day, and then Eclipse, and like Twilight one day, New Moon the next, and then the Eclipse and Breaking Dawn between them took me the rest of the time, and it was just, I love it. This is my favorite sequel for that series. Okay, you can prop up properly. Okay, new release you haven't read yet but want to. I am going to give that title to, the Renee Ahdier's Flame in the Mist. I don't even own it yet, but I want to read it so bad. It's like the struggle is real. I'm obsessed with her work now ever since I've read her first duology, her debut novels. I'm like, okay, if her debut novels were that good, like were that fantabulous, she must be a seriously good author if that's her first time writing and releasing something and it just blows up that phenomenally. I'm like so excited to read that. Plus it's like another fairy tale retelling, and this one's of Mulan. Most anticipated release for second half of 2015. Ooh, there's a ton of them, and they're all on my phone. Damn it. Let me go into my Barnes & Noble app because I know that they're on there. Yeah, one of them is called Words in Deep Blue, I think. Where's my book? Yeah, it's called Words in Deep Blue by Kath Crowley, and I'm also really looking forward to One of Us is Lying is already out. Bad Romance by Heather Demetrios, and also Confessions of a Hater by Caprice Crane. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's already out, but I'm looking forward to Words in Deep Blue, and what one did I just say? Bad Romance. I will get pictures of them right now, just to show you what the covers look like. So because the covers are what caught my eye, and then when I read the synopsis, I fell even more in love with it and had to have it even more. So yeah. If my iPad would load the Barnes & Noble app, that'd be great. Here we go. Oh wait, I think this book is already out. It's already out, but yeah. I think. Well, it says I can buy it in hardcover right here. It doesn't say pre-order. But it sounds so good. It's basically about this girl that leaves a boy that she fell in love with a note in a book, and she confesses her love to him, but he never writes back. So she does this before she moves, and then she moves away, and she's heartbroken over the fact that he doesn't ever get in contact with her. And then she has to move back and then work with him, and they exchange these love letters. This isn't loading, so okay. Biggest disappointment? I'm gonna give that title to To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, and as well as Vengeance Road by Aaron Bowman. More of To Kill a Mockingbird though, because Vengeance Road was solely because that isn't the type of genre I'm interested in. You can hear my cat meowing. Sebastian, come here. He won't shut up. Vengeance Road just wasn't the type of genre I'm usually into. It's historical fiction, and I cannot get into historical fiction for the life of me. Ow, I have a bruise there apparently, and it really freaking hurts. But To Kill a Mockingbird, I just genuinely loathed. I hate that book so much. I'm not sure if it's because I was forced to read it for school, or just because it just genuinely ticked me off. I don't know what it was, but I just hate that book so much. I didn't have high expectations for it. I just genuinely didn't want to read it. But then when I read it, I hated it even more. Biggest surprise. I'm gonna say Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. I'm saying Twilight because, well, a ton of people told me this is such a good book. This series has so much negative impact around it. Like, everybody's like, Twilight is so stupid, Twilight sucks. Like, no, pick up the book and read it. It's so good. Like, so I didn't have very high expectations going into it, but then I read the first book and then binged the whole series. So I just really love it. I'm gonna reread the series a ton. I was contemplating rereading it after I watched the movies because I was in such a bad book slump after I read this. I did not want to leave this world. I just wanted to keep rereading it, and I really did contemplate rereading this whole series and rewatching the movies, but I didn't. Favorite new author? I've not read very much of her stuff, but I've only read one book of hers, but I'm gonna say Julie Murphy. I read Dumplin', and I picked it up on a whim because I had another $10 to spend at Barnes & Noble, and I'm like, this looks interesting, and I picked it up, and I love it. I loved it so much. It was so funny, so relatable, so like real. It really focuses on real life problems and stereotypes, and I just loved it so much. And her writing style cracks me up, and it's so easy to just read. She writes so fluently. I just loved it. So newest fictional crush, and that has got to be Prince Maxon from The Selection. He's just like so proper and like innocent, and he's so cute. I love him. And people are like, Maxon, that's so cliche. No, he's so cute. Like, aw, and he's got a damaged past. It's just, oh, I love him. Newest favorite character. I'm only a couple pages into the book, but I'm gonna say Mim from Mosquitoland. She's so funny. She is hilarious. The way that how sarcastic she is and rude just literally channels me. I'm so like, I relate to her so much. She's so rude, but in such a funny way. And it just cracks me up that I just want to be her friend because I feel like she'd be cracking me up all the time. So she's got to be my new favorite character, even though I'm a couple pages into the book. I'm only like 59 pages into the book. I apologize for the lighting. It's like 9 o'clock and it's getting dark, but I didn't feel like turning on the light because then I get too orange. So I'll just be Casting with the Ghost instead. Book that made you cry. The Elite by Kiera Cass. I was in the middle of reading the sequel in English class with tears streaming down my face in the middle of English class. I was bawling my eyes out so much that when I slammed this book closed, no, that was Rose and the Dagger. I was crying about this book in the middle of class, and I will find the page. Okay, this should be really soon. Okay, it starts about chapter 9. Yeah, chapter 9 and it ends at chapter 10. If you've read The Elite, you can go into this book and know what page, what part I was bawling my eyes out at. I want to cry just thinking about it because she wrote the scene so well that it was just seemed so real. Like, if I were to put myself in America's shoes and I saw that happen, I was like, oh my god, no. I was freaking out. I was crying. But oh my god. Book that made you happy. I'm gonna go with Everything by Nicola Yoon. This book is so gushy and oh my god, it's so cute. I just love it so much. I adore this book. It's so I just love it. That's all. I just love it. Favorite book to movie adaptation you saw this year? Oh, funny thing is I didn't see any book to movie adaptations this year, so TV shows, I don't know if finishing The Vampire Diaries counts. I bawled my eyes out. I hated the books, love the show. Oh my god. Favorite review you've written this year? Let me just tip myself. Oh, fuck. That's gonna have to be my book talk on Wrath and Dawn and Rose and the Dagger. I know I summarized a lot, but this is one of the only book reviews I did. And done. What? Where's my grammar? But yeah, I know that I did mainly just summarize the whole series, but that's the only book review I've ever done, so I'm hoping that's my favorite review so far. I hope to do more. Most beautiful you've bought so far this year? Well, shit, I grabbed a cover that I bought last year. I didn't buy any really. Well, I'll just go with this one. Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis. I don't know, something about this cover just really attracts me. I just love the neon bright yellow and all the little characters. It's so cute, and then there's more in the back. I don't know, I just really love this cover. So, what books do you need to read by the end of this year? I need to read this book. I need to finish Mosquito Land. I need to reread City of Bones. I need to read Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Ramona Blue by Julie Murphy. Let's go into my pictures. I'm sure I have Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. I want to pick up Sandcastle Empire by Kayla Olson. And I also need to read The Sun Is Also a Star. I am dying to read this book. Because I've heard so much hype about it. Oh. And then I need to read One Dark Throne by Kendari Blake, which is the sequel to Three Dark Crowns, and I am so beyond excited to read this book. I was not much into Three Dark Crowns when I first started it, but the ending, oh my god, the ending, let me tell you. I am very impatiently waiting until September to read that book. So yes, I need to very, very impatiently wait until then to see what happens and hope that there is another one after that. Shit. So yes, this concludes my mid-year book freak out. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and even if you didn't like it, give it a thumbs up if you watched it, I guess. Anything is appreciated, and give me any suggestions below of what you might want me to do next, or any books you'd want me to read. I'll be sure to include them in my next video, and give you a shout out if you give me recommendations, because I always love getting recommendations. So yes, thanks for watching, guys.